Welcome one and all, Steve here with Geek Boulevard. I'm bringing you another movie review, and this time I was able to check out the adaptation of the hit horror indie game, The Mortuary Assistant. I have not played the game myself, so I'm coming at this from a different angle. I'm reviewing this film solely on the basis of it being a film. Like, is it scary? Is it good camera work? All of that good stuff. On that note, was it scary? Did it provide effective atmosphere? Let's find out. The Mortuary Assistant is directed by Jeremiah Kipp. The film is not rated with a runtime of 1 hour and 31 minutes. Newly certified mortician Rebecca Owens joins the night shift at a mortuary, embalming bodies alone after hours. As disturbing events escalate, she uncovers demonic rituals, dark secrets from her enigmatic mentor, and her own buried trauma as she tries to survive the night before her body becomes a vessel for possession. As always, we're going to start with what I liked about the film. My first positive point is our main star, Willa Holland, who plays Rebecca. She does a lot of the heavy lifting in this, as the cast is not very large, so most of the story revolves around her getting this job as well as remembering parts of her traumatic past. And I think the moments where she had to show tremendous emotion, I think she did a pretty good job there. So overall, I was pleased with her performance. I also really liked the effective use of practical effects on display. I thought they worked really well, especially with the autopsies themselves, where there was like those up close shots of the embalming process and everything. Sure, that's most likely due to the budget, but like having that constraint allows you to be more creative in terms of making convincing practical effects. Give me fake arms being chopped off in blood all day rather than some CGI bullshit. The positive section of this is going to be far shorter because that's really all I have in terms of positive points for the film, as the rest of this movie let me down in the horror department, unfortunately. My first negative that I have with the film is that it's not very scary. It's honestly one of the most boring horror films I've seen in quite a while, and I think that's due to its pacing. This is a 90-minute movie, and I felt that that was just way too long. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because the movie does kind of move at a brisk pace, you would think, because it's 90 minutes, but there's no cohesion from one scene to the next. It's kind of like, okay, we're in the mortuary, okay, we're here, okay, we're back in the mortuary, and there's not really a clear passage of time to that degree, if that makes any sense. My girlfriend and I saw it together, and she is a big fan of the game and was even more upset than I was about this movie. The pacing was just so sluggish that I kept yawning in my seat, just thinking, all right, when is this gonna be over? I do think that the design of the demon is kind of creepy looking in, you know, a cool kind of way, but that just wasn't enough for me. It does, of course, possess the bodies in the morgue to torture Rebecca, just like in the game, and make her think that she's like losing her grip on reality, but to me that wasn't scary either. In fact, there were so many moments of her hallucinating in the morgue only to find out, surprise, surprise, it wasn't real. It happened so much in the latter half of the movie that I was just getting so tired of it, and I was practically just begging for her to get possessed so that something interesting could happen. It was this constant cycle, okay, something scary happening, oh, it's not real. Something scary happening, oh, it's not real. And this just kept happening and happening, one right after the other. I think I want to say this happened at least 6 times in a row, and I was just thinking, oh my goodness, like, can we just move it along already? There's not many video game adaptations that succeed, like all the Silent Hill movies. Sure, the first one kind of has its charm, but then the sequel was bad. Return to Silent Hill was a fucking train wreck. House of the Dead, Alone in the Dark, like all these horror film adaptations of their video game franchises, they just never are done correctly. And unfortunately, this is another one of those unsuccessful attempts. If you haven't seen it, but you are a gamer and you haven't played the game, play the game. I'm gonna be playing it at some point as well. I'm sure my girlfriend will tell you the same exact thing, because it's just I would just think it's a far more immersive experience than what this had to offer. Like, there's no way that the movie could be better than the game. It's just not the case here. The whole time while we were like driving home from watching that, we just kept thinking that was a complete waste of our time. And I had never seen her so upset about a horror film before. Just goes to show, don't piss off a gamer. If you're gonna adapt a video game into a film, you really need to make it for the fans. And if you are gonna take creative liberties, do it in a way that makes sense and can be translated well to the screen. And I feel like, even though I haven't played the game, I can tell immediately that things were not translated well from the game to the actual screen. Side note, but real cinemas, I got a bone to pick with you. You said that this movie was showing in your cinemas, but that was a big fat lie, because I found literally 0 showtimes for this movie. Despite it only being shown in limited theaters, AMC was the only one that was showing it. Now, I'm not gonna knock people who love AMC. Sure, AMC does have its, perks that I think are kind of cool. I think some of the theaters I've gone to for AMC were actually really, really nice. But the ones in my area are not very good. The popcorn tastes terrible. Everything is just so incredibly expensive, but that's really for all theater chains, let's be honest. And the seats that I've sat in, the experiences that I've had, they've all been bad, and it's all happened at AMC. Like, the communication with Regal to their customers about movies showing in limited theaters is not really addressed very well. So I think Regal, you need to work on that in the future for limited theater releases. In conclusion, I'm giving The Mortuary Assistant a score of 2 out of 5. Despite a strong enough performance from Willa Holland and some really effective use of practical effects, this is another failed video game adaptation. It felt overly long for a 90-minute movie, the scares were not effective in any way, and the overuse of hallucinations to mess with Rebecca were incredibly repetitive in their approach, leaving the second half of the film very predictable and forgettable. But those are my thoughts. Now I want to know what you guys thought of The Mortuary Assistant. Have you seen the film adaptation yet? Have you played the game? Do you think the game is better than the movie, or vice versa? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. While you're at it, why not tell me what is the absolute worst video game adaptation you have ever seen? I'd love to know your thoughts. Be sure to like the video if you enjoy what you're watching, and subscribe to Geek Boulevard if you're new. Tick that notification bell so you can always be notified when my next movie review or trailer reaction drops on the channel. I thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to always stay classy, stay geeky, and I'll catch you in the next video.